Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I wanted to start off this video going in depth on a few updates that we just recently seen around crypto regulation, especially within the US. So first and foremost, we are starting to see a major pushback around regulations within the US from Republicans. Actually, we do see full write-up of the scoop here. Republicans turn up the heat on Biden's crypto regulation driving innovators out of America. Now, obviously, one of those individuals are Warren Davidson, which we recently talked about with the congressional hearings with Gary Gensler, of course. But here we have new today, Warren Davidson, as well as Flood for Nebraska. So this is Mike Flood. What do you see today? Sent a letter to the President of the United States, a White House CEA, calling them out for what they call inconsistencies and flip-flopping on their handling of digital assets and how they should be regulated. Full text. And we do see one of the major quotes. So here are the two major quotes from the actual article. I don't want to waste your guys' time and read the whole thing, but we do see Congress plays a critical role in the regulatory framework for digital assets, which are not up to the discretion of unelected bureaucrats who retain inconsistent viewpoints. And this is from, of course, Warren Davidson. We need a regulatory framework that attracts investments here in America and encourages private sector entrepreneurs to deliver digital asset technology here at home. I strongly urge the Council of Economic Advisors to avoid antagonizing innovation and to adopt a new approach that supports investment in our digital future. And I completely agree. As we do look at what's actually happening right now, we are seeing a lot of innovation moving outside of the US. Obviously, yes, we could talk about Ripple and XRP all day long. It's been a big subject for the last 2 and almost a half years now. But outside of that, we also have to focus on the other big names moving outside of the US. We recently seen Gemini launch a non-US crypto derivatives exchange, which we did talk about initially on back in, I want to say the end of April or the middle of April, that they were planning on doing this. And now they are finally launching it. And this is huge. This is a massive move, especially for Gemini. And also Binance. Last week, Binance responded to the UKHM Treasury's consultation on the future financial services regulatory regime for crypto assets. Always good to see policymakers openly seek input and suggestions. Quick thread about our response. Effective regulatory frameworks must ensure financial stability and consumer protection and act as a catalyst for innovation. Based on this, some key points from our response below. We believe that same risk, same regulatory outcome is the right approach to regulating emerging technologies. It solves for the desired outcome rather than applying generic rules, capturing the intricacies of novel innovation, and their unique benefit/risk. In general, regulation should deliver against policy objectives while accounting for industry nonsense. Not easy, but necessary, and something Binance is happy to help with. A clear definition of DeFi is needed for both effective regulation and innovation. Listings/delistings should be handled by exchanges, and exchanges should be held responsible for providing the correct information to consumers based on clear disclosure rules and performing sufficient due diligence. And then last but not least, we support introducing a crypto market abuse regime, MAR, to mitigate the risk and challenges specific to crypto. The introduction of formal regulatory admission practices alongside greater market surveillance and regulation in general will help to reduce bad actors. And I think that this is incredible. I think that this is actually the right way to go about this. I think that we know, listen, like as investors and as those that are in this space, we all know that this space needs regulations. We cannot sit here and blindly say that, hey, crypto is this, crypto is that, when you have meme coins going absolutely parabolic. You have people getting extremely wealthy off of them. And I'm not hating on it. I think that that's great. I love to see people win. But the problem is that there still needs to have regulations around this space because this space has no guardrails up. And yes, we could say, do your own research, do your own research, do your own. We could say that all day long. But the problem is that most people are going to avoid doing their own research. They're going to listen to somebody telling them what to do, as always. And what happens is a lot of people get wrecked. But also outside of that, we also have a lot of problems with exchanges internally. Like FTX is a perfect example. And although, yes, I do believe that it was an inside plan, I think that it was a full setup, especially from the regulators to utilize it as an example. I still believe that these exchanges need to be regulated as well. But we need to make sure that we have good practice regulations. We need to make sure that, these nations are listening to the input of leaders around this space that have been leaders for well over a decade now. And the problem is that with the SEC, we're not going to see those nice, great regulations that help innovation thrive and actually benefit the space. No, they just want control. They want greed. They want to kill innovation within the US. That way they could feed it to JP Morgan, and Jamie Dimon. But with that, I do want to go over here as well, because we did see Coinbase has opened trading for Bitcoin and Ether-backed derivatives product at its own new Coinbase International Exchange. Now, the interesting thing about this, right? So this is taking on the same role as what Gemini just recently did. Again, you can see innovation moving outside of the US. But the thing that's very interesting about this is, guess what? No XRP. Still no XRP in Coinbase International. I think that this is very interesting because remember what I've said in my video from yesterday. I said Coinbase will not relist XRP. A lot of people think that that's confusing as a statement, but the thing is that Coinbase never really cared about XRP. They never really cared about Ripple either. The problem with Coinbase, right, is, and we said it yesterday, they are working closely with JP Morgan. They're banked by JP Morgan, for an example. So to me, is Coinbase being blackmailed by JP Morgan? Are they working together? What's going on with these two? We have no idea, but we already have a lot of connections to Brian Armstrong and even Coinbase themselves from Ethereum and the Ethereum Foundation. To me personally, I think that this has been one of the most overlooked topics around the XRP lawsuit, but also just around Coinbase. To me, I don't think that Coinbase will ever relist XRP. For anybody that is sitting there saying, hey, Coinbase, why don't you relist? Listen, they had so many opportunities to relist XRP. Now that they want to, in quotation marks, fight back for the industry, it's comical. It's a joke. If they actually wanted to fight back for the industry, they would relist XRP. They would relist XRP because at this current moment in time, the SEC, we know, has no jurisdiction. They're utilizing enforcement or regulations by enforcement. They're not giving us any clear actions. They're not giving us any transparency or clarity. So as we really kind of look at what's happening around this space, yeah, I don't think that Coinbase is a good actor for this space. I don't think that they are fighting for this space. They are a hypocrite at best. But we do see over here as well, shame on US regulators. Consider the following, and this is from Johnny D, and we do see in 2017, SEC issued the DAO. Then 2017 to 2019, there were 57 enforcement actions versus crypto companies involving ICOs, Kick, Telegram, etc. In 2018, we got the Hinman speech. In 2019, the SEC issued its framework for digital assets, and I will, this is basically just the announcement of their international exchange from Coinbase. And they go on to even mention, like, as a global company, we're working hard to help update the financial system by building trusted products and expand the utility and adoption of crypto, because we believe crypto and blockchain technology have the ability to increase economic freedom and opportunity around the world. Very interesting. What does that sound like? But nonetheless, we do see also in 2019, former Chairman Clayton publicly agreed with Hinman's speech, stating the token itself is not a security, and that a token can at first start out or be issued as a security, but later transform so that subsequent sales of the token no longer meet the Howey test. Yet here we are, 4 years later, moving backwards regarding regulatory clarity, and for you crypto critics that say Hinman and Clayton's comments are immaterial because their statements were only personal opinions, I say hogwash. I actually say something else, but I'm being polite. It's an absolute shame our regulators won't sit down and establish a regulatory framework. But guess what? These regulators are just like any government entity. They don't want to put any time or work in. All they want is their paycheck. That's it. But nonetheless, we do see, even if it's a framework many in the industry believe too harsh, for example, establish sufficiently decentralized markers that must first be met to be a commodity, it's not rocket science. The Ripple XRP case is the perfect example. If Ripple owning 50% of the tokens is an issue, then establish a standard that no one entity can own more than a certain percentage of the outstanding tokens as part of the sufficiently decentralized paradigm. As for XRP itself, objectively consider the following. In 2014, yes, almost a decade ago, the USGAO described XRP as a virtual currency utilized in a decentralized payment protocol called Ripple. It certainly didn't describe it as a security. Also consider in 2015, FinCEN declared XRP convertible virtual currency and forced Ripple to comply with US banking laws, not securities laws. The SEC was informed through an info sharing agreement with FinCEN and didn't step in and say these were also securities. Also consider in his speech, Hinman basically said any network that is equal to or more decentralized than Ethereum isn't a security. Consider that Ripple wasn't sued during those 57 prosecutions. Now, also consider what the SEC's 2019 framework literally states. If a token can be used as a payment or as a substitute for fiat, it is unlikely to satisfy Howey. That's the very same use case for XRP. Tapjets and Spend the Bits use XRP that way. Hell, there was an XRP tip bot on Twitter long ago allowing P2P payments, and I'm sure that a lot of you original investors probably know that as well. But look at Coinbase. This is from Coinbase themselves. Let me open this up in a new tab just so that you guys can see this. Check this out. Here you guys have XRP and USDC at the center point with all of the major currencies. No fees to send or receive XRP or USDC to Coinbase account. Down here, fast and free for all Coinbase users. You can now send money to any user with a Coinbase account around the world using XRP. Look at the bottom, XRP. It's comical. It's absolutely comical. Now, also consider that the 2019 FSOC annual report highlighted XRP not as a security but as a virtual currency, a report that was signed by all the top financial regulators in the United States, including Clayton and Jerome Powell. Here you guys have those signatures, just to give you guys a quick little insight. Sorry, here you guys have it. You can see all of the individuals that did sign this. Very interesting. Then down here, we do see also consider in 2019 MoneyGram filed documents with the SEC disclosing how MoneyGram would be using XRP in its cross-border payments business. The SEC knew MoneyGram would sell XRP to the public on Coinbase, the company it approved to go public over 2 years ago. Oh God. It has been a decade since the USGAO report in 2014 describing XRP as a virtual currency utilized in a decentralized payment system. We have a chairman, Gary Gensler, who won't answer the basic question of whether Ethereum is a security despite the CFTC saying it's a commodity. You could credibly make the case that a lot of crypto is a Ponzi or a scam. You could credibly believe, like I do, that all altcoins satisfy Howey at the time of their origin and initial sales or distribution, including Ethereum and XRP. Hell, arguably Bitcoin satisfied Howey in 2011 to 2013. But one thing you cannot credibly argue is that the SEC Gov is even remotely protecting investors. Not only has it failed miserably to protect investors, it certainly hasn't maintained fair, orderly, and efficient markets nor facilitated capital formation. Absolute shame. And yes, this is the number one problem in the US, is that we have a complete circus show going on. Almost every single one of these government agencies, almost every single one of these higher ups around the government as well, all of them are an absolute joke. They do zero work, expect everything in return, and think everyone is just going to sit by and not say a damn thing. But I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm pretty young, right? I'm 25 years old. But as I look at what's happening in the US, as I take a step back as a taxpayer, I am tired of funding these nonsense agencies that don't want to put any time or effort in, and they want to, make these examples. Because that's exactly what the SEC wants to do. That's what Gary Gensler wants to do. He wants to seem like this incredible individual. Oh, we're protecting investors. We're doing this. We're doing that. But instead, what they are actually doing is harming everyday individuals, people that are putting hard-earned money into this market that they already got taxed on, by the way. And then when they sell or do anything with it, they want to tax you again. But also, they are screwing you over. Because those that were holding XRP, there was $15 billion worth of damages done in December of 2020. Just think about how many people sold at a loss. Think about how many people sold at a loss, then rebought in higher than their original price. Now you could say, Oh, well, that's emotional investors. That's people that don't know what they hold. But for most individuals out there, they are going to play off of their emotions. They're going to play off of what they are told by regulators and by agencies that are supposed to protect you and me. But guess what? They do absolutely nothing to protect us. And I do believe that the SEC, the Fed, the IRS, I think that all of these agencies should 100% be abolished because they do nothing to benefit our everyday life. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me over on Twitter, as well as join the free Discord and the free Telegram down in the description below. It's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.